We live in a world that is obsessed with being heard. And there is an underrated art of knowing when to shut up. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard stories of people going to the negotiation table, whether it's a CEO versus an investor or a lawyer versus another lawyer, and always saying the first one to speak up is the one to lose. You lose leverage the moment you begin rambling. And the power of being quiet and not saying a single word is one of the most powerful tools you can have in your arsenal. Why is this? Because the reality is silence makes people uncomfortable. If you can master living in the uncomfortability of it, you will always have the upper hand. Most people will associate silence with being insecure or unsure. But the reality is that it's actually extremely powerful. I don't know about you, but when I was in junior high and in high school, we used to do archery, okay? So they actually let us play with bows and arrows. Don't know if it was a great idea, but they did. So when you hold that bow and arrow and you're pulling the arrow back, the longer you hold it and the further you pull it back, the more power that you generate. That's exactly what silence does in conversations. It builds power, intent, and pressure. I've always said this, but listening is the most undervalued skill. Most people do not listen to understand. They listen to respond. That's not true communication. That's verbal tennis. But if you can just be quiet, you'll create a vacuum that draws out the truth. Did you know that therapists actually use silence in their sessions? It's called therapeutic pause. This is used when the listener hears the person they're speaking to reveal something and they just stay quiet. Because the longer they're quiet, the more someone feels pressured to keep speaking. And when they start speaking, the real intention, the real truth behind what it was that they first said starts coming out to the surface. The reality is when people are speaking, you should not be jumping in, not even saying, just nod silently, give them a few positive facial expressions, and allow them to open up. When people feel safe, they'll more than likely open up to you. Now, the thing about silence is that it can actually give you a lot of leverage over people. The quieter you are, the more you see. You start paying attention to things like someone's body language, maybe some nervous tics. When you're quiet, you're able to pick up on those things more often than not. Now, if you combine that with everything else that we've spoken about, you can see how it gives you an advantage. In fact, a lot of detectives and officers admit to using long, awkward pauses or long silences in order to start putting more pressure onto the suspect. And more often than not, it actually works. People are actually afraid of silence. They look at it as a void. But in that void is the truth. You're able to uncover substantially more than if you're speaking. And when you listen, you'll typically find what you're looking for. And when you're speaking, you're giving up a lot more. So here's a challenge I have for you. This week, just shut up. Listen a lot more. Watch people's body language. Listen to what they are actually saying and try to make sure that you're absorbing it. Don't worry about what your response is. Just make sure that whatever it is they're saying, it's actually being heard and processed, and see what it does to your life. Now, I'm going to give you a few tips to keep in mind. Number one, silence keeps you memorable. Most people just keep talking. Think about how much weight your words have when you are more often than not silent and actually decide to speak up. People will know that something really held weight within you and therefore you felt the need to speak up. And when that happens, they'll actually be listening because they'll be shocked that you have something to say about it. Now, keep in mind, I'm not telling you to just be quiet in all normal conversations. I'm telling you situationally, pick and choose your moments. Where you can be quiet, be quiet. And where you need to speak, speak. But this could be your greatest superpower. Number two, this protects you from oversharing and therefore over-revealing things that should not have been shared in the first place. If you're quiet, that gives an opportunity for other people to overshare, which then gives you more knowledge. And at the end of the day, that knowledge is power. This could be especially important in interviews or in sales or when you're trying to make sure that you're getting your point across to a difficult party. When you hear what they're telling you, then you can pinpoint exactly what it is that could be the objection or what it is that they feel like they are missing the most in your conversation. You can use that to then reassure them and make sure that you are attacking the pain points and overcoming any objections that anybody has. Number 3 is that silence actually communicates respect. It shows that you're willing to be patient, you're willing to listen, and think about the people that you feel safest to speak to. It's the people that aren't always jumping in and cutting you off. It's the people that are actually listening to you and allow space for your emotions or whatever it is that you're trying to communicate in that moment. Number 4 is that it helps you actually control your impulses. We are typically programmed to want to jump in right away or to want to share our opinion or do anything that aligns with that. But when you're quiet for just a few moments longer, you start rewiring that part of your brain that wants to automatically jump in. This can play huge dividends in a plethora of different aspects of your life. Number 5, you will gain the upper hand without having to overly dominate a conversation. Oftentimes, people who end up rambling and babbling and just saying things because they need to fill the space are seen as insecure. And people who are silent are seen as confident and knowledgeable. So just think about that next time you feel the need to have to speak in moments where nothing needs to be said. And finally, number 6, silence is a mirror. And when I say that, this is what I mean. In that silence, people will often project their thoughts, their fears, anything that's going on within them. And in that area, you are able to see who that person truly is. If you give them that space to be who they are, you will know who is actually in front of you. Not the superficial image that they want you to see, but who they truly are. So again, I encourage you to please practice being quiet. Let me know down below in the comments when you've practiced silence and how it's affected your life. And if you have not done it yet, take this week, practice it, and then come back, let us know how it went. Let's make this a community where we all grow and prosper from it. Thank you guys. I love you. Peace out.